Hi guys, welcome to TedRedwood Gaming. I'm Ed, and today is the first episode of my new Football Manager 2018 series, slash only episode so far. So I'm starting off with FC Oss, who are in the Jupiler League, the second or kind of the championship of the Netherlands. So I chose FC Oss because I did a little bit of research. I quite like the odd playoff system in the Netherlands, which I'll get into in a little bit. So I thought, let's crack on with them. And yeah, looked at all the teams in the league this season. Wanted to go for someone who's either not done very much or never been around the top division. So I think it's FC Emmen have never won anything, so they were tempting. But FC Oss are it says professional status, but they're pretty amateur. Most of the players are amateur as well. I think they're an offshoot of, I'm not really sure. I think they used to be called Top Oss. I think they're actually going to be called Top Oss next season, but I know they've got links with NEC, who are in the second division. Again, I don't know any of the actual names or much about them. So I've jumped into this hoping for the best. So in terms of the actual team, so FC Oss, so 1.5 star reputation, okay finances. I actually replaced the manager here. I think I'm expected to finish 13th. To have a quick look at the facilities, so 4,700 all-seater. We have adequate facilities, below average youth. There's not a lot to go for them basically, but we're expected to finish 13th, or we were. At least that was the media prediction. There's already been a few games played this season. You can't actually get relegated in this version of the game because I haven't got extended Netherlands leagues loaded, but there are divisions below the Jupiler League in the Netherlands. So if I actually look at the season preview before we jump into my profile and such, so we've gone up to 11th, so we've clearly made some okay signings. I think the board are expecting us to just not finish bottom. Let's have a look. Competitions. Of course, they're satisfied because we haven't done anything yet. Not even saying they're not going to judge me yet. That's amazing. Attempt to be competitive. So I think that means don't finish last, or try not to finish last. And then I think this is just going to be the Dutch Cup, the Dutch FA Cup. Reach the second round. Fine. So the purpose of this save, I guess, before we jump into my profile, I kind of just wanted to take over a team in a division I've not really played before. I've dabbled in the Dutch league for a grand total of about 4 hours in previous versions of Football Manager, but never really spent significant time there. Actually, if I jump back to the league very quickly. So how the league works, if we have a look, as far as I'm aware, you get your 4 teams. The team that finishes top overall goes up. And then a team that wins the period, there are 4 periods to play. So there's first period, second, third, fourth. So the overall winners go up, and then the winner of each period goes into the playoffs, and then the next 4 teams down, basically, it sort of makes up the playoffs with those teams. It's a bit confusing. There's a lot of teams that could go into it, so I won't go into it too much now. It's very confusing. But long or short of it is, we're a professional team apparently, and most of our players are professional, but we've got a few amateurs as well. We're not expecting to do anything this season, but I thought the idea was quite interesting, that you could do really well in one period, but still finish like down here and get into the playoffs. So it's exciting. I'm going to give it a go. My manager profile, I kind of want to stick with FC Oss for as long as I can. Aware that so far I've not had the greatest success on FM18 in my own personal life. Been sacked a couple times, yet to be promoted, but saved teams from relegation like the last day of the season. So I thought this would be a nice challenge to sort of build up, and then hopefully eventually overtake the might of Ajax, PSV, Feyenoord, those sorts of teams. If it goes wrong, I'll just journeyman it to an extent. So I started off with a Sunday League footballer past playing experience and no coaching qualifications. I'm studying for a C license now. As you can see, the stats are pretty generic. I've had a couple of improvements in areas, but nothing major. So I think we're going to actually have a look at, if we jump into the board, so you'll see that we're already spending about £700 over a week what we're meant to be spending. I filled out my staff completely, a lot of regens in there, which I like. Bank balance is okay for now. We've got NEC who are in the same division as us, but they're like our parent club, and I can't actually get rid of them off of that, I believe. It might happen just if we overtake them, so let's find out. All the scouts are doing great things, so yeah, awesome. In terms of transfers, I have made a lot of transfers. Wow, that's a lot more. That's a lot more than I thought it was. Who's this guy? When did you? Who are you? Is that the one I've just signed? Yeah, I've literally just signed that guy. I could swear. William Witcherek. William Witcherek. Yeah, I've just signed him, and he left 2 weeks later. Probably because I was trying to retrain him as a wingback, but that's a bit of a spoiler. And this guy, he's a good winger, and he's apparently one of my best players, but he's earning a lot of money, and I'm not going to be playing with wingers. Another spoiler. So before I jump into, I'm not going to go through all the transfers necessarily. I'll probably just go through the first team and the transfers made into that first team. We'll go from there. You'll meet the other players at some point. If you actually look at player trials, though, this is filth. That's quite a few hundred players. I actually select. No, I can't. But I offered trials out to maybe like 800 players. Some of them came off. There's a lot of loans, as you saw. There's no rules in regards to loans, so I've abused that system massively. But I'm going to show you the tactics before we jump into our first game of the season, which is going to be against Jong Utrecht. I'm going to try and be as Dutch as possible. I'm not going to put on the stupid accent like Steve McLaren did a while ago. I might end up doing it by accident a few times. Oh, wow, I didn't even see that. Against our own reserves, we lost 9-0. That's awesome. Yeah, pre-season's just pre-season. Not too bothered by it at this early stage. So we'll meet the team quickly. So we're playing a 4-4-2 diamond, but with wing-backs. I'm in the Netherlands, so let's try and play the Dutch way, right? I'm not necessarily trying to do total football, but yeah, 4-4-2 with wing-backs, defensive mid, attacking mid, team instructions, so standard structured. I'm actually going structured. Can't remember why. I'm sure I made a decision about that. I've not actually really tried anything apart from flexible since playing FM18, so I'm hoping it goes well. I kind of want, I just want them to sort of stick in and around their positions, basically. I think that's what that does, but let me know if not. So, team instructions: work ball into box, exploit the middle, look for overlap, and prevent short goal kick distribution. That's sort of with a view to our backup tactic, the preventing short goalkeeper distribution, because I actually made a concerted effort towards the end of our mass signing spree to sign players that were over like 190 centimetres. I thought if this goes wrong, I'm just going to throw on all the big lads. Most of them are quite tall anyway, so I am probably just going to end up going along if this goes wrong, so that's exciting. So let's meet the team. So we got Xavier Moose in goal. So he was here when we started. 3-star ability, 3.5-star potential, 22-year-old Dutch player, fine. I actually think he's quite good. Although, to put it into perspective, 3 stars, it doesn't tell you how good he is currently in terms of divisions because the division below is not loaded. As far as I'm aware, if I pick a random 3.5-star player, if we even have any, so 3.5-star player is a decent player for teams at our level. We've got 1 4-star player, and he's also decent at this level. So we're really not expected to compete that much. So there's Xavier Moose in goal. At the back, we got Ferry Direct. I'll call him Direct. And I'm going to have a nightmare with this. Why did I choose the Netherlands? And Benesa Benemar. So Direct was here when we started. I actually think he's a really good defender. 28 Dutch. He's contracted for 2 seasons, which is great. So is he our captain as well? Yeah, he's our captain. I've chosen him as our captain. And Benesa is on loan from FC Twente. I was really struggling for like another top-class centre-back, so I've got a few youngsters in here who are, like you can see, massive and hoping for the best. So he's 3-star ability, 5-star potential on loan. Lorenzo Piqué at right fullback. So I don't have any natural wing backs. Sorry, I don't have any natural wing backs. So I'm using fullbacks for now, and I'm just going to have to cope. So he's 3.5-star current and potential ability 26-year-old Surinamese player. I think they're either colonized or have a link with the Netherlands, because you see a lot of like Surinamese sorts of players. I don't even know what I'm saying there. Yeah, Dutch fluent, so I assume they're colonised by the Dutch at some point historically. So he'll do fine. He's good cover down both flanks. Ivo Rossin at defensive mid, so he's a new signing. He's not massive. I think he's the tallest of the defensive mids we have, which is a shame because that's a good position to sort of win long balls. But 35-year-old Dutch player, he's on an amateur contract. He's really well-rounded and potentially going to be a staff member one day. So he's just a defensive mid, good work rate, tackling, strength, blah, blah, blah. So he's good. At left wing back, we've got Dean van der Sluis. Answers on a postcard. 21-year-old Dutchman. Again, not a natural wing back, but I'm making him do it. 2.5-star current, 3.5-star potential. So potentially a decent player for the division. We're really struggling down that side. We're struggling down both the wing back sides, really, but I really want to play this formation. It served me well in a really old version of FM with Ipswich Town when I got them remarkably promoted to the Premier League. I played with a sweeper though rather than an attacking mid, so I moved him all the way back here and just solidified defensively. It was beautiful. So centre mid, we've got Rix. Why have I done this? I'm just going to give them all nicknames at this rate. Rick Stuyt van der Herrik, who can play in these middle three positions, but we're playing him centre mid just to add a bit of solidity. I've got him as centre mid on defend, so the only thing he's lacking is determination. He can do a bit of heading though, marking, passing, tackling. He's okay. He was the club captain, but I replaced him. I didn't really want an advanced playmaker this far back, but I was lacking in centre mids that didn't like defending or just being a ball carrier. So we've got Hussein Dogan in centre mid as well, as an advanced playmaker on support. He's got some really good technical stats, mental stats more or less where it matters. So hopefully he links up well with our Trequartista, who is Fatih Kamachi. And he is... I'm not really covering the star ratings, am I? Everyone's sort of 3.5 star in this area with no potential growth. So yeah, Fatih Kamachi, really awesome technicals actually, I think, for this level personally. I think he's better than the scouts are letting on. Also, I've changed the scouts coaches. I've changed the colours of the numbers. So 16 to 20 is orange because everything on my channel is going to be orange. 15 to 11 is yellow, and then everything else is standard. So 10 to 6 is white, and below that is grey. So this guy's got some good stats, I think, for a Trequartista if I put him here. So pretty good dribbling, finishing, first touch is good, technique's good, passing's fine, flair's good, decisions, composure, anticipation, off the ball, vision, agility, all great. And then he's got some other good stats which I think will bode well he doesn't find himself in the right position. He's got some good physical stats, okay work rate. So yeah, excited for him. Hopefully he does a job. Up front is, maybe aside from our wing backs, probably our weakest area. I signed, I'm going to show you him just because I love him. So how do you pronounce this? Oyvind Hose. I used to sign him back on like Football Manager 2006, I think, for Gretna. He's huge. He started my whole hold on what if I just have a backup plan idea. He was available on a free, so I snapped him up. He's an absolute last resort because our strikers are pretty much those sorts of players anyway. So we've got target man on loan. So Fiseo Adarabayo. Fiseo Adarabayo, who is an English player. I don't think he's probably got another nationality within him somewhere. Nigerian, yeah. But he's a big lad, but we're playing him as... Oh no, we're playing you as a target man, aren't we? Is that the wrong way around? Let's have a look, just quickly, before I carry on. I think that's the wrong way around. Yeah, I had those the other way around. Let's change him around. So actually, he's playing as an advanced forward, which he's not trained for. but I don't want two target men right there. I kind of want I want to pretend to be an advanced forward, but basically be a target man as well. But he's not great in terms of mentals. Physicals are fine, they're really good. He's, again, a big lad. He can head, he can jump a bit, he can finish a bit. He's, I don't know, he's not my favourite. I kind of need another striker. This guy who signed up, so Wim Bokila, I'll call him, 29-year-old Dutchman, 3-star ability. So he's playing as our target man on support. He's 189 centimetres, again, some really good physicals, good strength, good heading, good jumping, good work rate. So I think he's going to do a job. So we're kind of looking for him to drop deep, the Trecatista to move around, and then so it's fairly fluid in here without being fluid, but it's also got a good solid base with sort of the centre mid on defend and these three players here. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. On the bench, you're allowed 12 players, only allowed 3 on, but tons of players on loan. A couple of decent ones as well, actually. There you go, this guy, centre mid, 192 centimetres. I thought it would be a good idea. And we'll see how it goes. And I've just got some cover at wing-back positions who also like to play a bit further up the pitch, just in case I decide I do need wingers. I think this guy, this guy was here when we got here. Another who wants to be a target man, but he's only 181 centimetres, not even 6 foot. And I can't be dealing with that. So that's the team we start with. We've got a lot of filler as well. There's going to be a lot of unhappiness, but I'm aware that there's a maximum of 0 players who have played for the reserves / B team during the same game week. There's going to be times I screw up completely and set them for 45 minutes available for everyone, and I'm going to end up with like no team. So the fact I've got like 3 teams worth of players is probably for the best. But we are going to play Young Utrecht, so Utrecht's second team, I guess. We have one injury which I'm bothered by, which is Santi Hulst, who we signed for free. I was wondering if I should play a Trecatista or someone like that up front. So he was brought in sort of for that role, but he's injured and he's out for 3 months, so I don't have to worry about it. As you'd expect, squad dynamics, match cohesion, average, but it's on the poor side. Managerial support is poor, which is a bit upsetting. I'd hope they'd have no opinion just yet, but apparently that's not the case at all. So we're going to be playing in 2D for this because my laptop is terrible. You can probably tell from the quality already. For those interested, so I am also running a Sonic 3 and Knuckles save. I'll be doing other Sonics, old school Sonics, very soon. I'm very new to this whole thing, so I'm using OBS. I can't seem to get the actual recording quality for Football Manager. So obviously on screen it looks fine, but on the recording it's a little bit blurry. I'm going to send a few out there. Someone cleverer than me, please give me feedback. My laptop isn't amazing. I might invest in something better at some point, but I just feel like I'm getting the settings wrong. So if anyone is clever with that, do just drop me a comment or something. Obviously do comment with some feedback, and hopefully everything will get better from there. Be nice, it's my first FM video, but equally feedback is crucial, so please do that, it'd be great. So we're looking at the game. So they're playing a standard 4-3-3 with wingers. I don't know where anyone's meant to finish this season. I'm a bit terrified. Let's just see what happens, I guess. Gonna check the match speed and stuff now. Looks a little bit slow for my liking. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want extended highlights, I want key highlights. Everything's on 2D. Match speed during highlights will speed up a bit, and we will speed up between highlights. We're not having sounds. I might add sounds one day, but they won't be Football Manager sounds. So this is a standard kickoff highlight, as many of you know, unless you're really unlucky or very lucky. But it's more likely to just be, no, don't you dare. My keeper has come out a very long way there. This is going on a while, actually, so maybe there's something coming from this. We're not really... Okay, so we're actually dominating possession in the first 2 minutes, but Demon plays it forward for Young Utrecht, and it's sort of bouncing around in the box, and they've smashed the corner stanchion, is that what it gets called these days? From about 18 yards. Panic stations, not enjoying it. Utrecht with the corner. again, these normally come to nothing unless you're terrible, which I think my team is. So I'm a bit worried by it, but we'll see how it goes. Move some of these stats out as well, because I think I've got the space, at least at this ground, hopefully at my ground as well. As long as I can see a rough how many passes we've completed and stuff like that, I'm happy. Historically on Football Manager, I've never really looked for possession specifically or anything like that. I'm much more of a direct sort of player, so hopefully I can get a nice balance here. As Utrecht have another corner, they just put it to the edge of the box where they're not really getting closed down. They put it into the top corner from the edge. It's Chris David, who I assume is probably not Chris David. He's probably Christopher David or something, but no pressure at all there. Do I need to close down? I thought I already had them closing down a bit more. Let me have a quick look. No, I don't. But it depends what kind of game I'm trying to play. I don't know yet. I don't really have a style on FM18. So I did a bit of English lower league management with my local team, Southend Manor. Got sacked because I wanted another contract. So I started declaring interest in other jobs, thinking I'd done quite well to get mid-table. They disagreed. They sacked me. Ended up, oh my word. Can we clear that? Just about. Ended up at Witton Albion, saved them from relegation, then went to Nuneaton, couldn't save them from relegation, and then was top of the league after about half a season. But they're all very different challenges, so trying to avoid relegation, I just kind of went deep and direct. Nuneaton, they're pretty much relegated when I took them over. So I ended up just having a ridiculous budget in a league that's not even loaded in proper, like, vanilla Football Manager. So that was very simple. So I just played a 4-4-2, but my players were so much better than everyone else's. This is a different sort of challenge, because I was kind of hoping that FC Oss would be predicted to finish last, but they really aren't. But Bakila has been put through. He's gone a bit wider. You can cut it back for Fatih Kamachi, who puts it in via a big old deflection. I'm not going to moan. There was a lot of build-up to that. That was a long old highlight. So Adarabayo puts the ball through to Bakila. He runs wide, which I'm fine with. Cuts it back beautifully, and Fatih's coming in late. We'll just call him Fatih. That's the easy thing, isn't it? So we're 1-1, which on the balance of play we do not deserve in the slightest. But you know, you don't turn these things down, right? I honestly wouldn't mind playing terribly all season and finishing like 10th. Ideally, I'd like some kind of progress. I'd want to get close to maybe not winning one of the periods. I think that's a bit ambitious for like the first season, but maybe like top 5 of one of the periods would be great without knowing how good we really are. Also, FC Oss have a pretty fun kit. So home one's red and white, away one's yellow and blue. It's pretty cool. Got to be a fan of that. So we're going to half time, 1-1. I'm going to go for a standard. Pleased with how it's going. And who's that? Who's lost focus? Hussein Dogum. Can never be pleased. So we'll get into the second half. And I'll leave it as it is for now, despite Hussein losing his focus over saying I'm pretty pleased with him and keeping it up. Maybe he hasn't been playing that well. I didn't really look that closely at stats. I still sort of feel like we're playing a reserve team. We should be doing a bit better. It's very early. The players aren't gelled. There is a lot of new players. Man, I've got like 38 players or so on the books. It's a bit much. I quite like having large squads. I've always had large squads. Although historically on FM, it's been more sort of my key 15 players or so. And everyone else is just a really promising youngster. But I've not got to that stage on this game yet where I can justify it. That's been with like a dominating Crew side or Woking. But PK's down the right. Puts it for Bokila on the 6-yard line, who nods it over the bar. Which is a shame, because we actually look quite good there getting it wide to our fullback, wingback, obviously. But our other wingback, Van der Sluis, is struggling a little bit. He had an injury just before this game, but I thought I'd give him a run out anyway, because I think he's our starting wingback. I've got no idea who to bring on out of these two. So let's have a quick look. Oh yeah, you're the right-footed winger, who who I was going to play at right wing back, but you're more of a natural down the left. And you, I mean, at least you're a left midfielder. So I'm going to put him at wing back. So Bradley Vliet on loan from NAC. You have won the contest to come on at the wing back role. And I tell you what, Hussein Dogan angered me in that first half by ignoring me basically at half time, losing focus. I'm just going to bring on the biggest, meanest guy I can find. So Samed Oztoprak can come on for him. I assume you don't want to be an advanced playmaker. I hope not. Anyway, he's not that good. Centre mid on support. Perfect. Click the wrong button. I just want to keep it simple for now. I'll tell you what that'll do for right now. I'm going to keep Wim Bakala on for now. And if he starts to struggle a bit later on, I'll change him. But I don't like changing the back line too much. Especially the back two, who have spread incredibly wide there. Which is a bit of a concern. I'll probably have to fiddle with some instructions with that. But they've just left this number 9 completely free. But Bokila knocks it wide to Vliet, who's got loads of space to run into. And smashes it straight at their fullback. And he is now running up the winger, crosses it in. Moose has a nightmare. There's the big lad with a header. Doesn't go far. And they're cutting through us. And they've scored. Bilal Oud Cheek, just played through slightly on the left, but not narrow enough to struggle, clearly. And we are struggling. I'm going to look at the final change now. We've struggled for possession. I think that team Utrecht is a lot better than us, so I'm not surprised. So I'm actually going to change Fissa Adarabayo for the only striker we have on the bench, which is not really ideal. Do you do anything apart from target man? Not particularly. Let's have a look at his stats for Queckel, Eric Queckel, 30-year-old Dutchman. Yeah, I see. Deep line support. No. And no's everywhere, really. I'm going to stick him on as a poacher. I just want to see if we can push up a bit more towards goal and see what we can do. I'm going to put us on a control as well and see what happens. Hopefully it sort of forces us a bit more up the pitch without actually sticking a different instruction on. And then it can leave us with a tap in for Queckel if we can get another highlight. But at the moment it's Utrecht with So. But we knock it forward to Bokila. There's not really many options despite having so many sort of midfield players. But he's got on the halfway line. Finds Fatty in the middle, who plays through Queckel. He puts into the back of the net. As Lujo would say, Redwood does tactics. So put him on as a poacher. He's been played through by Fatty, who's had a great game. And he's finished it off. He's got a good finishing stat on him. Fatty takes a bit of time, and look at that. Through 4 players. And Queckel finishes it and legs it off like he's won the World Cup or something. It's awesome. 5 minutes to go. Do I change anything? No, I'm just going to leave it. I know that could have been complete luck, but actually I think a draw is a good result for a first game of the season. And a draw it is. We knock it along, full-time whistle goes. And apparently it was predicted to be a draw, so maybe it wasn't that great. But at least Lorenzo Piqué ran 14.1 kilometres. I'm going to say unlucky. I should have said I'm happy, but I didn't. But I'm happy with that, actually. If we can stay undefeated the whole season, even if it's a load of draws, that'd be awesome. But it currently leaves us after a set of games in 7th place, which seems ridiculous to me. Again, end the season now, and I'm delighted. End one of the seasons anyway. So that's going to be it for this video. I haven't really figured out intros or outros, or how to stop talking, babbling so much. So leave your comments, feedback below. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, all those sorts of things. Check the links on my profile. Please do leave some feedback. It'd be great to hear from someone who can help make my videos a bit more detailed. In addition, I know I talk too much and it's not that interesting, so I'll work on that. But if you liked it, please leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. This is going to be hopefully a vaguely long running series. So my other games like Sonic and other retro games I'm going to be playing will sort of dip in and out of. But this is going to be the sort of consistent 3 or so videos a week, I hope. Maybe more than that, we'll see. So yeah, if you liked it, leave a like. If you want to subscribe to see more, do so. And I'll see you next time.